Hey, how we doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is Kareem Williams, and I have a pretty phenomenal person from the East Coast on the line with me today. Somebody that's been a great mentor to me for the past, I would have to say, about the past 5 years, 5 or 6 years, probably maybe even more. He's really helped me. He's actually the reason why I'm even on the internet, to be honest with you. So, without further ado, Mr. Al-Yassa, Al-Mahi, are you on the line?
Absolutely. How you doing, Kareem? How's everybody doing today?
Everybody, we doing well, and it's definitely hot over here in the desert. But sound like y'all got some bigger problems over there on the East Coast.
Yeah. We just had an earthquake not too long ago, and actually we're bracing for this hurricane. But it's pretty mild right now. Hopefully it stays like this up until tomorrow, and that would be good.
Okay. Well, Mr. Al-Yassa, for the people that don't know you that's on this line, I want you to please tell them what you do, how you do it, the whole shebang. Give them the whole rundown.
Okay. All right. Well, I try not to bore you guys, but long story short, prior to getting started in any kind of network, MLM, or internet marketing, I was basically a scientist. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry, making vaccines for the world's number one, pharmaceutical company for 12 years. That's what I did. I came out of school and did that, and that was my first job and only job ever. It's funny how you can run into some people and they say, "Oh, I used to do this, I used to do that, I used to do this." I was blessed and had one job for my professional career. So I made vaccines, the hepatitis A vaccine, measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, and then I actually started supervising and managing the labs of that company. When I joined the company, we launched that particular hepatitis A vaccine. I was brand new to the market. First year sales were $2 million. By the time I left that department, we were around a $50 million department. Then as I went to manage the quality assurance labs, that division was about an $80 million division. So that's where I got my project management experience while in corporate America. But decided to take early retirement in 2006 and pursue my own endeavors, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
Awesome. And I know you did some serious big things in real estate, and that's actually the first question I have here for you is that you were in real estate and you did very, very well for yourself. Why did you decide to start doing MLM and internet marketing, being though you were very, very successful in real estate?
Well, it's actually a little in reverse. I grew up in the real estate game because my mother, she invested in real estate. So I grew up kind of hating it because I was the one always cleaning out, houses whenever we had to kick somebody out. I was the one that had to paint the houses and lay the carpet. So, kind of grew up hating real estate for real. And, once I got into corporate America and realized, look, I did not want to work for someone for the rest of my life. That's when I jumped back into it. So started investing in the Baltimore area, doing, fix and flips. That was around the 99 to 2003 era. That grew into doing some projects in Philadelphia, which you're aware of, some commercial real estate development projects that we've been doing since 2006. So, however, in 1996 is when I first got wind of network marketing. At that time, I was still in corporate America. I was actually faced with a layoff. Our department was going to close down, and I said, you know what, if I'm going to work in corporate America, I might as well do something for myself at the same time. And that's what I did. I had a steady income, great pay, but I said, you know what, if this goes away, I got to have something else. So that's what made me look at network marketing. And it was because I, used to stay up and watch infomercials, That's how I got into network marketing, man. I worked night shifts, so I used to stay up and watch infomercials, and something came on TV. It was actually a real estate seminar. I said, hey, come on down here. We're going to do this real estate seminar. So I went down there, and because I went there and I joined that particular real estate opportunity, I subscribed to Success from Home magazine. I'm sorry, not Success from Home. Success Magazine. That's the predecessor to Success from Home. Success Magazine has been around for over 100 years, on and off. Well, anyway, I subscribed to that magazine, and then when I got the magazine, there was always one article in that magazine about network marketing. And then on the back cover of the magazine, they always featured a particular network marketing company. Are we allowed to say company names here or no?
I mean, do you think, man?
Okay, all right. Well, that particular company was ACN. They always had the back cover of Success Magazine back in the late 90s. So saw it, I would always read the magazine and from cover to cover, and there was always one article about some type of leader in a network marketing company. And I said, you know what, maybe there's something to this. So a friend of mine said, hey, I want you to come check something out at my house, and I did, and it happened to be ACN, which was on the back of Success Magazine at the time too. So I said, hey, maybe this is this is a sign. So I jumped into business, and at that particular time, never looked back.
Wow, that's kind of a crazy story. Who would ever think you would see ACN on the back of a Success Magazine and then go to your friend's house where you're seeing a presentation of ACN? That's crazy.
Yep.
I don't. That might be fate right there.
And that's how I looked at it. That's why I got started, because I knew I was looking for something, and then boom, it just happened to be right in my face. So took advantage of it.
So wow. So being like a scientist is like, that's top of the line money right there. Like, that's like big cash. Like,
yeah, it's all relative, man. I mean, if you were doing construction, can have big cash as well. But coming out of school at the time, in the early 90s, to make $45,000 a year, that did look like really great money. But what I quickly realized, is you quickly spend what you earn, and even though I was fresh out of school earning that kind of money, I was still living, well, not really living check to check, but what I would do is I would save. I put half my check in my pocket and half would go in the bank, but I wasn't really saving much, it just went into the checking account, so, but it was a pretty good, living. By the time I left there, 12 years later, I was at the $70,000 range.
Wow. You realize that, most people don't even reach that type of pay level. So you know what it is to get a nice little chunk of change, It just that's definitely, not the average salary of an American household in United States of America. So
yeah, I tell you what, I was crying, I was crying for a couple months too when I wasn't getting that check anymore after I decided to go out on my own, Yeah.
Let me go ahead to the next question here, man. You did a lot of offline marketing methods back in your early days of your career in network marketing. What is the most powerful thing you feel a person must know in order to be very successful offline?
I think the number one skill is being able to relate to people, and for me, I used to always wonder, let me backtrack. My minister always taught us that everyone has a special attribute. Everyone has a special talent. I never knew what mine was. And I used to always ask him, what's mine? What's mine? He said, if you stop looking for it, you'll find it. And then one day I just had the realization that for me personally, I just have the ability to relate to anyone. I mean, no matter who I'm talking to, it could be a complete stranger. Within 2 to 5 minutes, we already have some kind of common ground. Either I know someone they know, or they're doing something that I know somebody else is doing, and we can connect the dots. And that's just been my greatest asset. And I believe that you have to be able to relate to people to be successful offline and online. But definitely offline, because the industry we're in is, no matter how high tech it gets, it still comes down to being high touch and being able to relay your message to somebody, and have them be able to feel you or get what you're saying to them.
Awesome. I think that was very, very, very powerful message there. I don't think a lot of people, when they come into this business, they see the glitz, the glamour, the cars, and they think that you can really build this business on autopilot without, having some type of mutual, some type of connection with the person. It's network marketing. It's a belly-to-belly business. Whether it's on the phone or whether it's face-to-face, you got to be able to have that conversation and be able to relate to people, like you say. People want to do business with people that they feel, A, that they know, like, and trust, and B, that they feel is either going where they want to go or it has been where they wanted to be. And the only way you can find that out is if you talk to them and if they understand your pain. You just want to rock out with them, Like, let's just take it head on. So, third question we have here is, do you feel that it's necessary to build in other cities outside of your own in order to hit the top position of your primary company?
Not at all. I think the axiom or the mantra is really, think globally but build locally. If you can grow a nice list and a small team right where you are, it's going to eventually go beyond the borders, whether it's state borders or country borders and continent borders. So build locally. It's going to grow organically. You don't need to, be in one city and then have all your time focused on another city. Now, granted, as your company is expanding, you want to be strategic with that. So let's just say if you have, a group of just 5 people you're starting with, you might want to say, okay, well, look, if our company is expanding in Georgia over the next 12 months, then what we need to do is, look amongst ourselves and say, who do we know, in Georgia, and then start there, and that's how you can get into another state. But, you don't want to be, I would say, in one area and concentrate all of your marketing efforts in some other area, because you're going to come to a point where somebody's going to say, well, look, you're far away. I know we have this computer thing that can bring us closer together with video and email and all that, but, I want to shake your hand. I want to look in your eyes. I want to be able to see, I need help. I want you to be able to walk me through something step by step, hold my hand. In this business, we, not to insult anyone, but we do have to treat some people as if they're 2-year-olds. Now, I don't mean treat them as a 2-year-old and discipline them or scolding them. What I mean by that is make things plain and simple for them so that they can follow instructions and have the kind of success that they want to have and that, you want for them. I think one of the most frustrating things in this business is when you want something more for other people than they want for themselves. But, I just believe if you build it locally, organic growth will occur where you'll be able, your business will grow beyond borders. So we'll focus locally. If you focus locally, everything else will fall into place.
That makes sense, because you always know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, It's just so funny that, it's funny you say that because, my roommate is a musician, right? And he did it with a guy by the name of, what is his name? Oh my God, I forgot his name. Mr. Fab. And Mr. Fab works closely with E40. And like E40 is one of my favorite rappers. So in technology, I'm one step away from E40. You know what I mean? Because my roommate did a song with Mr. Fab. It's crazy how close you are to somebody of high influence that can.
Man, not to cut you off, let me tell you, one of the things we used to do in our downtime when I was at the pharmaceutical company is we used to play a game called 6 Degrees of Separation, where the game originated where, with actors. They said every actor in the industry can be traced within 6 people back to Kevin Bacon. So we said, you know what, let's see who in the world we can be traced back to. And we used to sit down and play that game, and it would always work out, When I was in high school, Ronald Reagan came and spoke at our school, so I would, I'd say, hey, I'm a couple degrees away from Ronald Reagan because, he had a conversation with the principal, and the principal invited him to school, and boom, I knew the principal. Matter of fact, I'm a, 1 degree removed from, President Barack Obama. And I got a chance to meet his director on the finance committee. He's a billionaire, Mr. Don Peebles. Got a chance to meet him because we're both in the same hotel owners association, and he's one step away from the president. So no matter who there is in the world, everybody's reachable. I'll give you another example of this. A friend of mine just called me up 2 times within this past 2 months. He's gotten a phone call from a multi-billionaire. Now, the multi-billionaire, some people know his name is John Paul DeJorio. You may better know him for his shampoos, John Paul Mitchell Systems. All the salons use his shampoos. Now, this gentleman is I'll tell you what, the other way people know him is Patron. He makes Patron as well. Okay. So you got one class of people that know him for his hair care products. You got another class of people that know him for his Patron. Okay, so he makes Patron. That's his beverage that he brews, but he also makes hair care products. All right. Well, my friend has emailed his secretary over the past 2 years, every so often, just saying, "Hey, I just saw John Paul in Forbes magazine. You know, his article was an inspiration. Da 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 da. Just keeping in touch." And then one day out of the blue, this guy picks up the phone, a multi-billionaire, and calls my friend and says, "Hey, I've been getting your emails. I've been getting your words of encouragement. I just want to let you know I'm appreciative, man. I'm glad that, you know, you're liking what I'm doing. You have some great ideas. I just want to let you know that I am reading your stuff and that I know who you are." Click. A multi-billionaire calls this guy. So then he calls me up the day before yesterday and says, "You would not believe who just called me again." I said, "Who?" He said, "John Paul just called me again." I said, "What happened?" He's like, "Yeah, I just shot him an email about an idea I had for recycling some of his waste products as he makes his hair care products, you know, how we can recycle that and use it, you know, for biofuels and all that other kind of stuff, save the environment." And he calls me up and says, "Hey, you know, I got your idea. I love it. We are starting to do some recycling right now. I tell you what, you got a great mind. If I'm ever looking for somebody to give me ideas in that particular arena, I know who to call, and that's you." Click. Multi-billionaire. So everybody is reachable, man. Everybody is reachable. I mean, if you want to spend, you know, let's say you don't want to go the friends and family route as you're building your business. You can write down a list of the top internet or network marketers in the world. And if you just hammered your information to those people, you're going to get their attention and someone will fall in your business. So there's many ways to build this thing, man. You know, you can do it the traditional way, or you can say, "You know what, I'm just going after these gurus, and I'm going to create a compelling enough message for them to end up listening to me, and I'm going to get them." And because there's nobody that's unreachable, period.
Wow. That was powerful right there. I hope they got that. If they didn't, they need to rewind this interview and seriously listen over. That was powerful right there. So the fourth question we have here is, what are some key points you learned that helped you both online and offline?
Ooh, key points. Well, the number one thing is you cannot hide behind your computer. You know, you still got to pick up the phone and call people. You know, the whole thing about online marketing is, of course, the whole attraction marketing. You want people to find you, which is great. You know, but that might even be a little too passive. You know, writing articles and blogging and you know, that might even, I consider that kind of stuff passive. You know, you can do online marketing that can be, you know, just as in your face as if you're using the 3-foot rule at a Walmart. You know, you can send people, you can send people that you connected with direct messages saying, "Hey, I need you to check this out." You know, that's just like putting a business card in somebody's hand, you know, at the Walmart before you leave. So, but the biggest thing, man, is really just getting on the phone, talking to people, seeing where people are and providing that solution, really knowing how to provide the solution for them, how what you have is their solution. You know, those are the biggest things. I mean, and the other big thing is not to get bogged down in the tactics of online marketing. You know, no one in this industry needs another tactic. You know, tactics and all the coaching going around that everybody's doing right now, you know, you and I talked about that. You can see the progression. We talked about how everything's going right now. We talked about this progression maybe 12 months ago. I told you it would go this way, and that's the way it's going, you know. If you're wondering why everybody's in Austin, Texas a couple months ago, it's because, you know, Mr. Dillard had a big meeting, so all the gurus were down there with Mr. Dillard, so that's why everybody was in Austin, Texas, And right after their big event with him, they come back and have their own event to share some of what he, to be the guru of some of the information that he shared. So, I mean, it's just a trend, man, and I don't know why I got off on that tangent, but I say all that just to say, we don't need any more tactics, okay? No one needs any more tactics. What you need to learn is the discipline. You can't coach discipline. I can't coach you on discipline. That's something you have to get fed up enough with yourself to just do. We have enough tactics that, like I told you before, if any type of method to build this business can work, whether you rip pages out of the white pages or the yellow pages and all you do is call them all, 5 hours a day, that will work. You can build a business that way. Or whether you do some Facebook pay-per-click, that will build your business that way too. So there's enough tactics. It's discipline that is what needed right now.
I remember when I was at ACN convention, and a guy by the name of Matthew Ambrose, I think he was like 20 years old, he got promoted to regional vice president, and he said that the reason why he didn't make it as a professional basketball player is because he didn't lack the talent, he lacked the discipline. And the reason why he was successful in ACN is because he had discipline minus the talent. And that was powerful. As you just reiterated what he just said, what was that, 3-4 years ago,
Yeah.
So powerful stuff, man. So next question we have here is, do you feel that it is very, very important to make sure that your brand and what you're doing is totally different from what everybody else is doing out there on the internet or on offline marketing or wherever?
Well, I mean, because everyone's an individual, I believe there's going to be some slight differences anyway, because your personality is going to have to come through in what you do. You can try to copy what someone else is doing as a foundation, but if you're going to be a student of it, and if you're going to really focus and build your brand, your natural personality will end up coming out anyway. Even if somebody's doing copywriting for you or what have you, there are going to be some things that you're going to want to change to make it sound more like you, or you'll say, you know what, this just isn't me, and you'll do it on your own. So I think that just comes about the more you decide to do it. You're always going to start off copying somebody else. I don't think anybody's going to spend 12 months trying to be too original. I think they're going to just say, you know what, let me get it out there, and I'll tweak it as I go along. You're going to end up copying somebody else. Look at all the different blog templates out there. You got people setting up blogs for other people. They're just using templates. It's all the same, but what has to come through is the content. How unique is that from someone else? And you don't have to be, try to be too different, wild and crazy or whatever. I mean, just be yourself, because those that are attracted to you are going to relate to you.
That is so true. And I've seen that happen so much when I was, going through the stages of building my brand, www.clearcutformula. It was, just me just being who I am, and not trying to, and I don't think I necessarily tried to deviate from what everybody else was doing. I just wanted to make sure that what I did represented me to the fullest, and I didn't feel like I was a copycat. Or if I did copy somebody, it was so much of my own style into it that was like, okay, we see what he's doing, but that's him. That's Clear Cut Formula. That's the www guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, how many free reports are there out there on, the 4 reasons why you're failing in network marketing? How many, how many free reports are there on, how to make your first, dollar on the internet? So, everybody has that, but there's, certain spins to it or whatever, but, it's a good template to start from. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good template to start from, but eventually as you hone your craft, your personality comes out of it more and more.
Awesome. So the sixth question that we have here is, you are a big reader and you are big on the movie The Secret. What would you tell a new team member to read, and why would you tell them to watch that movie, The Secret?
I don't know, Kareem. Why did I tell you to watch The Secret?
Oh, you
yeah,
told me to watch The Secret.
Yeah, I'm going to call you out on your own interview. Yes, I am. No, well, let me tell you, man. For me personally, I've always been big in personal development. That really shifted a lot of things for me in when I was in corporate America and in network marketing. And here's what happened. When I got started in network marketing, I was working a lot of overtime, missing time with my family. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to do the minimum I need to do on the job to be able to get paid and make sure, things are safe. But I'm going to focus the bulk of my time on network marketing. And my attitude actually got negative. It got so negative on the job, in terms of having a job mentality, that people actually didn't want to get started with me in network marketing. You see? Because I was so, hey, we got a Saturday meeting, you need to be there, and if somebody doesn't want to come, I'm like, well, look, okay, well, work overtime and kill yourself early, or you're living paycheck to paycheck anyway, you need to do something different. So my attitude was so negative in terms of being anti-job that nobody wanted to get started with me in network marketing. So I might have had a team maybe at that time of, 5, 10, 12 folks or whatever. So then I came across some great professional education programs that I shared with you before, the Landmark Education. And I took a series of their courses. And let me tell you, man, here's what happened. Here's what shifted for me. I realized that, I can't let the job affect me. I can't let what's going on in my business affect me. You see, you have to be the thermostat versus the thermometer, okay? A thermometer only reads the temperature of the room, okay? A thermostat controls the temperature of the room, you see? And you've seen people like that where, they walk in a room and boom, they take it over. The attention is on them. The energy is vibing with them, and then you see some people who walk into a room and you don't even notice them anymore because they stand against the wall, they're quiet, they're insignificant. You see? So
yeah,
that's what that training helped me do for myself. I became the thermostat versus the thermometer. And once I realized that, I'm like, man, I create my own circumstances, that I was able to shift how I reacted and how I looked at the job. I was able to shift how people saw me. And by the time I left that department, I was the number one valued employee there. And when I say that, I'm not, just toot my horn, but here's what happened. Remember, I used to make vaccines. So when you make something like that, it has to go out to the market to sell, right? Well, when I left that particular department, in 2005, I left that department. 2004, I left that particular department. Till 2009, 2010, 6 years later, they still were not able to get product out of the door. Meaning, there was just something about the dynamic we had and the relationship we had in getting things done there. I would come in at 3 a.m. If the schedule was thrown off track, I'd come in at 3 a.m, get work, work a little overtime, get the work done for them, put our schedule back on track. But when you make a vaccine like that, you're on a production schedule. You're on a schedule where this has to be done by this date and time. If it's not, then the whole thing is scrapped, and that's hundreds of thousands of dollars down the drain. So we were on a tight schedule, and if the schedule got thrown off because something was delayed, I'd come in early, I'd stay late, I would do those kind of things, and people wanted to work with me then. And here's what happened to my network marketing business. Before, where I only had a team of 5, 10 folks, after I shifted how I was and my responsibility level to my attitude, I ended up having about 50 people from that company join me in network marketing.
Wow.
So, to answer your question, why would I recommend The Secret? Now that didn't have the effect. The Landmark Education is the one that really did. So I do recommend their programs. I will warn people, it's like everything else. There's the sales component because they're a business. That's what they have to do. But you have to go in there and seek what you want for yourself. Why do I recommend The Secret? Because I think it's a good basic foundation of having people start to look at how they can dictate the circumstances of their lives. Positive thinking is great. We all know that. But you also have to work. You also have to put action behind it. Okay? You can't just sit and wish for good things and that's going to happen. No. You have to put action behind those positive thoughts. There's a saying, you heard that before, faith without works is dead. There's another saying that the Amish people say. They say, pray, but also move your feet. So wow. Positive thinking is great, but there's specific actions you need to take in the direction of that positive thinking as well. So I definitely recommend The Secret. I recommend landmark education programs. But, also in terms of what I'm reading right now, I'm reading a book by Og Mandino called The Greatest Secret in the World. I'm reading that book, which actually helps you build discipline because there's certain things in this book you have to do 3 times a day. And if you can build that habit of doing that 3 times a day, then it's easy to apply that in other areas of their life to form some great habits in terms of producing results. Read that. I've read, just finished reading Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover book. Before that I read, what was it? The Law of Attraction. I read Asking is Given. And of course the traditional books like Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad Poor Dad, but, I'm also reading some stuff by Dan Kennedy. I have it sitting right here. No BS, Marketing to the Affluent. That's marketing to rich people. The Ultimate Sales Letter, How to Construct Sales Letters. I read The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And I also read my secret weapon is The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. Here's one that was recommended by a guy Larry Raskin. This is what he swears. This is his Bible. It's called How to Build a Large, Successful, Multi-Level Marketing Organization. And this book was first published in, where is it? 1981. That's when this book was first published. And let me just say this last thing. I know you asked me what I read, but one of the smartest things I ever did when it came to personal development was I went on eBay. Okay, I went on eBay and I bought a box. Somebody was selling a box of Amway tapes. You might say, okay, well, you're an ACN at that time. Why are you, buying Amway tapes? Well, here's why.
I was about to ask you that.
Here's why I did it. Imagine people from the 50s, 60s, 70s having to build network marketing. No cell phones, no internet, no delivery where, you can just order online and get shipped directly to you. These folks had to take U-Haul trucks down to Michigan, grab the product, drive back to their state, give the product to their reps, fill out sales forms, mail all that stuff into corporate so they can get their checks, like if you're my rep in Amway, you're buying product from me. You're not buying directly from the company. You're buying from me. So I got to go place a big order and then sell it directly to my team at wholesale prices. They give me the money. I take my little bit of profit. I send the money over into, up to Amway corporate. That's what these people did. And I said to myself, if they made that company what it is today, then they had to have some strong mindset. They had to make it through much more difficulty than I could ever imagine trying to, sell a service or a product nowadays. So I said, okay, that's got to be the ultimate personal development stuff right there, to listen to the people who did that, who built that company. So that's why I bought a box of, 250 cassette tapes, I think, for like $50.
Wow.
And I would just play them in my car every day. I'll just rotate the tapes every day, just listen to them, and just listen to them, and just listen to them.
Wow. So let me get to the 7th question here. I don't want to run over your time. I know you're a busy man. What are some of the things that you had to overcome in business to become successful, and how did you overcome them?
Well, again, it's funny. I talk to one of my partners every now and then. I say, man, whenever we come up against a roadblock and we're thinking we can't do something, or man, this is tough, I sit there and I say to myself, man, listen to us thinking negative. I said, imagine with 12 years of personal development work behind us, and we're still thinking negative right now. Like, imagine what kind of shape we were in 12 years ago. So you still got the negative thinking that comes into play sometimes. So you basically, I just draw on the years of personal development. I draw on faith. I draw on really looking at, okay, what's the solution in all of this? What's the blessing in all of this? Maybe it's something that's preventing me from going down this route because, it might be a headache later on, So in terms of, what made me successful or how do you overcome it, it's really just looking at whatever you're up against at all angles, You can't always look at something as a roadblock. You got to sometimes step back, look away from it, and say, okay, if I'm getting 3 or 4 indications that I shouldn't do something right here, maybe I need to stop and say, okay, I'm not going to do it. So I don't know how to put it, but it's just something that you just, as you go through it and as you know yourself, one of the things I will tell people is you got to be in tune with yourself. You can't just be go, 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 go all the time if you're not paying attention to your body, you're not paying attention to signals that you're getting. You got to be in tune with yourself. And when you know yourself, you'll become aware of different things. Like one of the things for me is if I'm sleeping late, no matter how late I stay up, but if I'm sleeping late, if I'm dragging to get out of bed, then for me, I know myself. That means that there's something that I didn't address. That means there's some responsibility that I've been shucking. There's something, whether it was pay a bill, whether it was call somebody I didn't mean to call or straighten something out. If I'm sleeping late, it's because there's something of great magnitude that I'm putting off and I didn't do. So when you know yourself like that, you'll figure out how to overcome different obstacles and always, seek help. Find somebody that's already done it and pick their brain. Take them to lunch. Take them to lunch.
Yep. Exactly. Wow, that was a powerful answer there. I think a lot of people, I was just talking to Amy Jonell about this a couple hours ago, is that people really don't look at challenges as wisdom, or they don't look at encounters as wisdom for lessons learned. They think everything should be handed to them. But every bad problem is really not a bad problem. It's a lesson learned within that problem that you had to learn. And it happens to you for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely.
Next question we have here is, what is your vision for your brand?
Well, Al-Yassa, the brand of Al-Yassa. Man, when people say my name, right now, they know what they're getting. They know they're getting a real laid-back guy, honest, one of the things I pride myself on is never having someone that I cannot ever call back, which means that I want to live life to the fullest and not damage any relationships in the process. I don't have to, damage you or damage someone else or step on toes to be able to live my life to the fullest. So, and I've always lived my life that way, even when I was younger. When you're younger, it's all about girls. So I always said, there's never a girl I can never call back. But basically, that's what I'm saying now. There's never someone that I can't pick up the phone and call and they won't remember me and we can't hit it off and have another conversation. I don't want to leave anybody trampled in the process of me finding success. But in terms of the vision for my brand, really just I want to. Well, what I'm on a mission to do right now is just create, build, and control multi-million-dollar businesses from home. I've been home since 2006. I'm home more now than I was over the past 2 years. and I love it, man. I absolutely love it. And I can really see this growing to the stature I wanted to grow. I remember writing down in 2010 my goals was to control a 13 million one business, one stream of income would be $13 million a year. And I got that because I had studied a little bit about Eben Pagan a while back. So I can see building a $13-20 million business from home, like some of the the guys we all look up to are doing right now. I really do. So just a plain simple brand, man. One that they know they're getting somebody honest, trustworthy, laid back, cool, whatever you want to call it, and just a person that I can still walk down the street where in my hometown and then wherever I go. I don't need to be shuffled around in limos or anything like that. Just a regular guy, but somebody that's done something significant for people and for himself as well.
Awesome. It's funny you said people that you look up to, because that was the next question that was coming up. Who are some of the people that you look up to, both online and offline, and who would you love to work with in the near future?
Well, definitely. That's something I write down as well every year. So I already have written down some folks I'm going to be. I'm working with. Again, I've worked with Laura Langmeyer in the past. She used to come on Dr. Phil's show. She does a lot of in the realm of wealth building and asset creation. I wrote down Bill Bartman. Bill Bartman is a billionaire that made his money on helping people get out, settle their debts and all that kind of stuff. I like his philosophy and business model, so I wrote him down as somebody that I'll be working with. Dan Kennedy, of course, I have written down that I'll be in one of his major coaching programs. I would some of his smaller level stuff, but I see myself being one of his major ones in the near future. Who I love to work with. Some of the folks I'm currently working with. Well, I'm not going to get into who I'm currently working with. I don't know if we can do all that stuff here, but one of the folks that
say what you want.
One of the folks that had the most impact on me, especially online, is Cedric Harris, as well as Larry Beecham. Those two guys have really, really, shown me a lot. And with Cedric, when I decided to come online in 2008, I looked around and see who's doing what. Found them, called them up, say, hey, show me what you do, and started working with him. Started working with Larry not too long ago, and they're just really down to earth folks, man. I mean, they may be larger than life on the internet, but really down to earth folks, man. And I think, I did say that I'll be some kind of way, shape, or form meeting with P. Diddy, Jay-Z as well. But I think that's my short list right now. I'm pretty sure I have a longer list, but that's my short list right now.
It's funny that you say that, because when I was talking to Layla Black, now Layla Black, because he just got married, she was saying how the music industry is just so much of a wide open market, with people really not understanding the full potential of the internet and really not understanding the full potential of branding. And she was like,
didn't you and I have that conversation months ago?
Exactly. Yeah. And I've been implementing, putting it in place. I definitely have been implementing, putting it into place. Working with my roommate Random. Doing some searching and optimization stuff for him. So it's just funny how it just comes full circle. It seems like every conversation that we have, off air, it just comes full circle all the time. Yep. So
let me backtrack, man. I've had the opportunity to see things before it happened, but in the past not be able to take advantage of it, man. I mean, many, many things I've seen that I'm like, man, I'd love to take advantage of that and just, or how could I position myself to take advantage of it and then just not be in position to do it, So one of the things I challenged myself with was, to act swiftly, implement like crazy, whether or not the resources are there. I told you before about the product I had sitting on my computer for, a year, and then, J Bud releases a product and it's the exact same thing and he blows it up, So I don't like feeling like that.
Yeah.
I
But it
don't.
was a lesson learned there, though. It definitely was a lesson learned. You know,
Exactly.
that lesson that was learned was take action.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So, we got the last question here. What is the last question here? The last question here is, do you feel that it is necessary for a network marketer / internet marketer to have his own product, and why?
Well, the answer is yes. It's imperative. Number one, because of the trends in the industry right now, network marketing is in such a state of flux right now. It's crazy. Even though it's growing the way it is, a lot of companies are suffering. A lot of people are suffering at the same time. It's a state of confusion, I believe, right now in network marketing. I really do. I mean, I've seen people with huge organizations just leave everything on the table and go somewhere else. I'm not even referring to people that we know collectively here, just other folks in the industry, man. And, people that were mega successes back in the 80s, are coming back in the game now, and the one thing that would stay constant is if you had a product, that would be the one constant for your organization, your group, versus the company, because we know the companies can come and go. But if you have a great generic product that can solve a problem and a solution and be a solution for what the masses need, then that would have staying power. How old is magnetic sponsoring? Magnetic sponsoring came out of a concept that Mike Dillard learned being in a coaching group with Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy is one of the world's most prolific copywriters but not only that, see, everybody's touting his copywriting skills, but what Dan is a master at providing information that people want to pay for. That's what he's a master at. Wow. You see? That's where all these network marketing coaching groups and, everybody's starting their own coaching group, and that's where all this stuff came from, because they saw what Dan Kennedy was doing in the realm of traditional business and then implemented it in network marketing. When you look at all the different systems and stuff that came out for network marketing, like MLSP and Seven Figure Networker, that's Jonathan Budd's system, and all the other ones, the MLM Biz Pro, all these other different systems came from the idea of, or the trends that were taking place in corporate America. You see, after a book came out called The E-Myth, the E-Myth came out, and what that told people to do was, look, stop working in your business like a drone. What you need to do is set up systems so your business can work for you. Okay? So these Fortune 500 companies, they were putting systems in place like, number one, outsourcing. Okay? That was a major system for Fortune 500 companies, and then the real estate groups actually took hold of it before network marketers did. You see, there were a lot of real estate coaching groups came about before a lot of the network marketing coaching groups came about. So, but all they're doing is taking Fortune 500 principles and breaking it down on a small level for the network marketer. Now, one of the big trends in network marketing is what? Outsource your business. Outsource your callbacks. Outsource the daily tasks. Only talk to people that are fully qualified and ready, that have a check in their hand waiting for you to close them. You see? So all those trends, and that's the trend that the industry is going in. You're looking at Fortune 500 companies and what they're doing and saying, how can we bring it down to this level? Cloud-based applications, all that stuff was in the corporate realm. Then companies like IBM started gravitating towards it. Now you have, smaller companies, using cloud-based computing to protect, and store their data. Even hosting companies now are doing that, using cloud-based servers. WordPress is using a cloud-based server now. So everything trickled down from what the Fortune 500 companies was doing. Like I was saying, that's how magnetic sponsoring came about, because Dan Kennedy had a product called magnetic sales letters. You see, he would write a sales letter that would attract the kind of client he wanted to buy his product. Magnetic sponsoring came out of that.
Wow. I don't even think nobody even knew that. That was some serious golden nuggets for some people right there. I hope you guys are seriously listening. Seriously. You know what? Philly always brings value no matter what. Definitely.
Yeah.
But But that concludes this interview, Mr. Al-Yassa. Please tell them where they can find you, where they can look you up at, if they want to get in contact with you.
I'm on the internet, but I'm also behind the scenes, guys. You can find me at Al-Yassa.com. I'm actually transitioning my blog, but if you look at easyinarticles.com, I'm a featured author there. The other different article directories, I have content out there. My YouTube channel is Al-Yassa Al-Mahi. If you just Google my name, Al-Yassa, Al-Yassa, you'll find all my content out there on the internet. Very unique name for a reason. That's why I only go by the first name, because it's easy to find me that way. Whether it's a real estate project we're doing here in Philadelphia or my network marketing content, you Google Al-Yassa, Al-Yassa, you will definitely find me. So, and you can just, find me on Facebook. That's where you want to find me on Facebook.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's convenient, this interview, man. I wanted to say thank you, man. You just dropped some serious value, serious value. And these people definitely, this is one of those interviews that I believe is going to get rewinded and listened to. I think a person is going to listen to this interview 3 times before they go to the next interview within this product right here. So,
hey, well, I appreciate the opportunity to do this with you, man. We came a long way, and we still have further to go. And let's get there together, man, and really help some people out of their situations right now, man. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, the industry is in the flux, and the network marketing industry is in the flux. The average person out there who's not even looking at network marketing right now is in a state of flux and transition as well. So we can do a lot of good for a lot of people, man. Let's just come together as an industry and do just that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, everybody, there you have it. I'm going to the team, and we will see you on the next interview.
All right. Have a great evening.